Hey everyone, I'm back at you with another video. Thanks for tuning in. Alright, so let's get started. Today's video is called Guard People's Dignity. Yes, that's what I want to talk about. Guard people's dignity. Say no to gossip. Say no to gossip. Alright, and so a quick disclaimer. I'm not talking about if someone has caused you serious harm. They stole from you, they told a very malicious lie, they did character assassination, they did SA. You know what SA is, I won't say it out here, but I think in the internet world, people know what that means. They beat you up, or they did a certain major betrayals, like major betrayals. I don't need to list what those are. Expose, okay? Don't carry those things within you and you feel like you can't talk. You feel that's not what I'm talking about. I'm not talking about those major things. That's not gossip, actually. If people cause serious harm, you know what I mean? You have to talk. Yes, you must. All right. And if in the case of like stealing and those kind of things, you have to report it to the authorities and so forth. So quick disclaimer, that's not what I'm talking about. What I'm talking about are petty differences between you and someone, between you and people. Stop running to tattletale on people, to tell on people, to expose people when there's nothing to expose, when it's just a matter of a difference of opinion, a difference of perspective. That's allowed in life. People don't have to agree with you. People can have differences of opinion. People can have different perspectives. People are allowed to move in a way that you may not move in. You may do your life one way, they may do their lives another way. That's totally fine. Don't be controlling. People do not have to do or to live their life how you want them to live it. You know what I mean? Another thing I wanted to say, yes, people do not have to have the same value system as you. And you don't have to go around slandering people or gossiping or speaking ill of people because they have a different value system from you. So that's what I'm talking about. And stop running to tattletale and to just spread rumors and like gossip about people due to what I just said, differences of opinion, differences of perspectives. You make yourself look foolish and immature. If you're speaking, if you're, going to tell, say, people who are intelligent, people who are discerning, okay? If you're telling low vibe people, well then, they'll take that and they'll run with it. It'll be fuel for them. It'll be food for them, because some people thrive off negative talk, off hearing negative things about other people. They go and they spread it. Okay, some people are gossipers. But now, if you're speaking to ascended people, to people who are high vibrational, to people who work on themselves, to people who guard other people's dignity because they know the importance of that, because they know we're all human beings, and that dignity is important for each and every human on the planet. If you're speaking to those kinds of people, you'll make yourself look really foolish and immature. And then they'll want to keep a distance from you too. All right. And now, if you're on the receiving end of, say, gossip, someone has come to you to share gossip about another person or to slander another person. And again, I'm not talking about major things. Like, I already did that disclaimer at the start, so I'm not going to go back to it. All right. So if you're on the receiving end of gossip, be careful. Be careful, be careful. Because sometimes you could be worse than the person who gossiped it to you for believing it. Let me explain. Let me give an example to put this into context. Two people are married. And now someone comes to you and says, oh, did you hear? So-and-so in the marriage, they had this. Or so-and-so's wife. Unfortunately, wives tend to get a lot of criticism, and people like to gossip about women and this kind of stuff. It's really just a terrible, awful thing. But anyway, so-and-so's wife did this. Or maybe it's the wife of an extended family member, of like a cousin or a second cousin, but you receive some gossip. So-and-so's wife did this, and you didn't hear that so-and-so's wife robbed a bank. Nothing like that, right? Not those major things I talk about. Not so-and-so's wife robbed a bank. Maybe so-and-so's wife said this to her husband when they had an argument. Or I heard they had an argument and she left the house. She went to stay with her family or her friend for a couple of days. Something like that, right? And then you get all excited. You say, "Oh, really? Da 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 da. Oh, I always knew she was like this and that." And you start criticizing her and calling her names and whatever. And then you take that and you run to other people with it. You start calling up other friends and family immediately to say what so-and-so's wife did. Sometimes you're worse than the person who gossiped it to you for believing it. Because first of all, you don't even know if that's true. People embellish stories. People add. Maybe they heard something like, "Oh, I heard they've been having a rough patch. I heard they haven't been getting along well, and the wife, maybe she went on vacation. Maybe she just went on vacation or went to visit her family, wherever her family lives, in their home country." And now the person you've received it from took that to mean, oh, she left the house because of the fight with her husband. No, she's just gone on vacation. She's just gone to visit her family. But the gossiper turned that into she left the house, okay, due to a fight. And now they've told you, oh, she left the house, or she said this to her husband. And maybe she never said anything to her husband, But anyway, the story, by the time you received it, it was embellished. And so many lies were added to it. And you believed it. You drank it up. You gobbled it up. You devoured it, right? Because you never liked the person. For you to just believe gossip immediately, you never liked the person, okay? You never liked the person. Be honest with yourself. You never liked the person. Because if you did, and if you cared about the person, first of all, you don't even have to like the person. But if you cared about the person, and if you cared to guard their dignity, and if you cared to respect people, you would say to the gossiper, you know what? You would come with some kind of antidote. You would say something like, let's pray for them. Yeah, that's what you would say. Let's pray for them. May Allah make it easy for them in their home. May Allah put healing into their home. May Allah give them guidance and sabr. And, I hope they're okay. I'm going to start keeping them in my du'as. I hope things work. That's what you would do. You would come with some kind of antidote. If you're that person who runs and you pick up your phone and you start dialing your friends and family all around the world, shame on you. Okay. Shame on you. Do you know how much nonsense I've heard about certain people? And guys, I'm still fairly young. I'm not going to tell you my age. Maybe some of you who know me, you have an idea. But I'm still fairly young. And even when I was much younger, even when I was like 18, 19 in undergrad, on campus, on university campus, and unfortunately there's a lot of gossiping on university campuses, you know what I mean? Anyway, even when I was 18, 19, and I heard certain negative things about people, sometimes before I met the person. I know, okay, this is something that's unfair, when there's someone you haven't yet met. It's just a matter of time before you bump into the person because you're all in the same circle, or maybe you go to like a small school, you're on a small university campus. It's just a matter of time before you meet the person. But maybe certain people have already tarnished your image of that person. So by the time you meet the person, you're like, whoa, I've heard all this stuff about that person. Okay. But when I was, in undergrad, so like 18, 19, there were things I heard about a certain person or certain people. But I could tell, I was smart enough to know, even then I was so discerning to know, that's nothing major. That's just some petty stuff. The person telling me, so maybe if it was like a friend who told me, I realized, that friend of mine or that classmate of mine just had they must just have some differences, and because they have those differences, the person has decided to now slander them, basically. And when I happen to meet the person, I want to come up with some names. Let me just create some names. Like, okay, when I happen to meet Sandy or Bill These are like completely made up names, guys. When I happened to meet the person, I promise you, I tell you, like, wallahi, it did not make me think ill. I did not think ill of the person, because I realized what I had heard about them was, it was petty stuff, you know, petty stuff. Okay. So let that be some kind of litmus test for you. If you're ready to gobble up, to drink up negative things you hear about someone, meanwhile it's petty stuff, but you're so ready to believe it, you don't like the person for whatever reason. That's for you to do your own internal kind of character assessment and character development, to say, why don't you like that person? Why were you waiting? You were just waiting. You couldn't wait to hear something negative about the person. Okay. So yeah, so like I said, I even at that young age, I heard a lot of nonsense about people. Didn't change my perspective of them, because, you know, you have to be discerning in life. Discernment is so important. And you have to know that many people have an agenda. Many people, they could be jealous of someone. They could be jealous of someone. They could, jealousy is a big thing. You know, they could want to sabotage someone's project. They could want to just, you know, assassinate someone's reputation. So they have an agenda. So they go around creating stories or embellishing stories about people to turn other people away from them. Subhanallah. Yeah. So be mindful of this, guys. And you know, they always say it's people closest to you who can hurt you the most. And it's because, yeah, people closest to you, they're the ones who know things about you. The stranger on the street doesn't know anything about you. A stranger on the street doesn't even know your name, okay? So have discernment in close relationships and in families. Have discernment. Have discernment, because people love the tea. You know, the tea. I think British people, they like to say that. Yeah, the Brits, they like to say, I got some tea, or like, I have the tea, meaning gossip. They have, like, you know, they got stories to share with you. Okay. People love the tea. I'm going to end with that. People love the tea. A lot of people, unfortunately, they don't make their own lives interesting. They don't cultivate a rich life for themselves, a rich inner life. They don't say, what are my hobbies? What are my interests? Some people don't have any hobbies, like not one. They don't have one hobby. They don't have one interest. They want to go home and watch TV all night. Fine, I'm not criticizing people who want to go home and watch TV all night. But unfortunately, sometimes that goes hand in hand with wanting to just talk about people and wanting to be nosy and get into people's lives. And, you know, people who, yeah, unfortunately, those things can go hand in hand sometimes when someone doesn't have other things going on in their lives, like hobbies or interests, or, you know, when people cannot entertain themselves through their own, maybe they like to paint, or they like to run, or they like to read, or, you know, they're just very creative. Some of us are very creative, so we're very good at keeping ourselves busy, keeping our minds active. We don't have so much time to be like getting into people's lives like that. A lot of people don't, okay? So they want the tea. They want the tea. They want to know things about people. So I leave you guys with that. Thanks so much for listening. Make sure to like, to subscribe, to leave your comments in the chat. I'll see you in another video. Thanks, guys. Bye.